I'm gonna move on to something a little different from building, and today I'm gonna do a little bit of painting. I need to balance the ailerons, but in order for me to do that, first I have to paint them. So, thought I'd kind of take a break from building and get to this. What I did last night was I scuffed up both sides of the ailerons, top and bottom, and the ends with some Scotch-Brite. And then I used this product here called Pre-Coat. This is made for preparing aluminum for paint. It's kind of like a detergent and an etchant. It gets it just prepped to take the primer. By the way, I'm using the Speed Coat brand. I've been really impressed with this. I got it on Amazon. It is an extremely durable paint. I've done all my interior panels with it, and pulling panels in and out, they're getting nicked, they're getting rubbed up against stuff. It's just durable. It doesn't really show the scratches. So I think it's gonna be a great paint for this. Anyways, back to it. So after the Speed Coat, what you do with that is you take a Scotch-Brite and you get it wet with the Pre-Coat, and you just kind of lather it up, kind of like a soapy lather, and you scrub it all down, and then you come back and you do it again. Then you immediately rinse it off with water, and then I just used an air hose, blow dried it, and then I came in with a microfiber and just basically cleaned it all off. And now it's prepared, and it's amazing, even with the gloves on. And now I don't want to touch it without anything but gloves, but with the gloves on, you can just feel how clean it is compared to touching a surface that hasn't been done. I don't want to do it here now because I'll contaminate, but last night I was kind of comparing between the two, and it's just incredibly clean. So this is what I do for preparing my aluminum parts for paint, and so far really good results with it. What I need to do now is get a batch mixed up. Just going to do the ailerons for now, and then later today I'll probably do the prep on the flaps here and get those done as well. But I'm just using the Speed Coat. It's a 4-to-1, 4 parts paint, 1 part catalyst with whatever part reducer I want to get it to the viscosity I need. And I'm just putting it in my little cups here, and I'll get my gun out and I'll get it shot. All right, I think for the ailerons, I don't know, I think I'll mix up about 110 milliliters of paint, and then the appropriate proportions of the others. That should get me both of them, we'll see. I've mixed this up real good, but I'll give it another hit. This has been sitting for a while. By the way, if you're ever doing any paint work or anything, get you these lids, these mixing lids. First of all, they keep your paint sealed up. So you're not opening the can, pouring out, and you know how it goes when you pour it out of the can, you just make a mess, and it's nasty. These things are worth their weight in gold. Plus it allows you to get a good mix before you use it. All right, let's see here. A little reducer in there, just to thin it out a touch. I'll shake it up real good once I get it in the gun. I hit it with a little tack cloth. Yeah, the lighting was a little terrible out there for that, but anyhow, I got them both shot. Just the bottom side. I'm gonna let all that cure, then I'll flip it over and hit the tops. But it's 2 coats I did, 2 pretty good coats, and I think that's gonna be sufficient. This primer is really nice. It just, when it cures, it just really evens out. It's almost impossible to do a crappy job on it. I wanted to show something here. So this is the gun I've been using. It's a DeVilbiss. It's called their starting line. It's kind of their, well, it is. It's their lower end spray gun line. It's HVLP. That's what I've been using for all my primer. I've used this for a lot of stuff, and it's an okay gun. I've never really wanted to spend money on a higher end gun, but working on this plane, I really wanted to make sure I get a paint job that is as flawless as it can be. And I thought, well, maybe a good gun will kind of help cover up some of my inadequacies in spraying, because I don't do this all the time. So anyways, I got this. Now this isn't truly a high-end gun, but it's up there. It's a Lime brand. It's kind of like your low-end professional, I guess you might say. And I got to tell you, I just sprayed some test panels here. I'm also trying a new color. This is Dove Gray. This is much closer to the gray that I want than the primer I was using. I was just considering keeping it at the epoxy primer, but I'm finding that that primer is a little too cool, a little bit of blue in it, and I didn't notice until I held it up against this Dove Gray. This is very neutral gray, and that's what I'm gonna probably stick with. But the gun, the quality of the spray, when I laid this down, it just laid down. It wasn't droppy, it wasn't too thin and misty. It just laid down. Now, I did have to get this dial in the settings a little bit, but it just laid down. There is something to be said about good equipment. An amateur with good equipment can almost get professional results. But a pro with shitty equipment can probably do the same. So anyways, if you're looking for a gun, you don't want to spend a ton of money, Lime brand, it's not bad. I think I paid 200 something bucks for that. All right, well, I guess I'll be doing quite a bit more painting here. I've got my vertical tail painted black. It's a satin finish, urethane black. It's got the rudder over here. This needs one more coat yet, but that's done. The tip is going to be yellow, but I've just primed it right now, and it's ready to accept the yellow. Remember, I'm doing a tribute scheme of the VFA 103 Jolly Rogers Navy Squadron, but it's looking good. I'll be ready, I think soon, to, if I wanted to, once I get the yellow on the tip there, I would be ready to put the skull and crossbones insignia on and the Fear the Bones slogan. I'm probably just gonna do that in vinyl for now. That might be something I change, but if I do later on, no big deal. I can peel the vinyl off and I can have it painted, but I think I'll just do that in vinyl. So there we go. I got a new one. This one is it's called a Black Widow, and it's got a 1.3 tip versus the 1.4 tip for this one. Just means it's a finer mist. It's really better suited for a clear coat gun, but could be used for base coat. While in my search for guns and stuff, I came across this one, and the reviews were off the charts. It's nice. I'm probably not going to do clear. I was kind of thinking about it, and that's kind of why I ended up getting this. But like I said, it could still be used for a base coat too. So check that one out too. Look at the reviews on YouTube. There's a lot of guys painting cars with these, and they're loving them. Well, I got an inflatable spray booth. It's 26 by 15 feet. That'll be enough to do the wings and fuselage. And really, I should have been using something like this all along, because I have been getting just a little bit of dust in some of the paint. Hardly noticeable, but thought, well, I'm gonna need a paint booth for the wings and the fuselage. So went ahead and picked this up. Normally 1,200 bucks, got it at half price. It was on sale 600 bucks. So it's got two pumps. One inflates the thing, and then the other one pushes air through it. I don't know which one goes where. There's no instructions with this. So I think that's the one that inflates it. Got it plugged in. I'm gonna power it up, and let's see how this goes. It goes to around 10 feet tall too. But I have the perfect spot in here. I don't know if I'm gonna spray in here. I just wanna set it up in here. It's really susceptible to wind. I don't want it to blow away. Ideally, I would set it outside when I do the painting, I think, and then maybe weigh it down with some sandbags. But maybe I just set it up in here and paint in here. I don't really care about the fumes in here. I just don't want overspray in here. And this would contain the overspray, and the airflow would go through. There's filters at the sides, at the outlet down there. That contains the overspray, so then it's just the fumes that come out. That doesn't really bother me. This could all air out pretty quickly if I open up the doors. In any case, I want to get this thing inflated up. Well, there we go. It's a little loud in here because I got the air pumps going, but there it is. It's 15 feet wide, 26 feet deep, and 10 feet to the top. Well, here we go. This will be nice and dust-free, or mostly dust-free. This isn't a proper like downdraft clean type space, but it's cleaner than being outdoors. I actually got quite a bit of light in here, and if I open up the hangar door all the way, I've just got it open up only about 5 feet right now. If I go all the way and I open up my RV door, I probably get quite a bit of light in here. So they say 10 feet, but the reality is that's 10 feet to there. So that's kind of misleading. It's about 8 feet to the bottom of the tubes, but that's okay. I don't have anything higher than, well, the fuselage right there. So there we go. This is my baggage floor. I got that painted up. I got one of the, two of the flaps, one of the ailerons. They're flashing off right now. A couple panels for the baggage area there. Center console piece there. This is working out great. I did not have to worry about a bug landing or dust settling, getting kicked up. This is perfect. Plenty clean enough in here for spraying. I want to fit the tip now. This is the Aerosport Products fiberglass tip. And I need to fit this and get it attached to the vertical. Also got to get this rib spaced accordingly. Because what I need to do next, after I get this tip attached to the vertical here, then I need to go ahead and lay out, this gets painted yellow. So I'm going to carry this line across from the tip onto the black. So I've about a 3/4 inch wide area on the black that I'm going to have to shoot yellow and match that line. But then right around here, it takes a turn and goes like this, and this is yellow. So the yellow is like this and then comes across and then the whole tip. Then there's a black stripe and another yellow stripe. And that would complete that. And then of course the skull and crossbones will go here, and then the Fear the Bones in the bone font will be down across the bottom. All right, I got the tip fit right where I wanted it. And I've gone in and match drilled through the vertical into the fiberglass. And then of course, that other rib is in there. So I went through the fiberglass into the rib on these two. And then all of these. On these here, I just matched the pattern that was existing with these rivets here, just so that it lines up. And I got those in there. And now I can flip this thing over and do the other side. All right, I got everything drilled both sides. I've pulled this off. And what I want to do, so this rib goes, goes like this, and right here. And these two holes in the tip go through this. But all the ones forward of that, the rivets just go through the vertical stabilizer into the fiberglass. And I want to put some backing right here. I don't want just the rivet to squeeze on the fiberglass. So I'm going to glue some washers here. And this is actually, you do the same thing if you use the RANS ABS plastic tips. You do the same thing. So they have you glue a couple washers on these holes as well. Got them glued in there, Clecoed. That should be just fine. The glue really is just there to keep it in place during assembly. Once I get it riveted in, it's going to squeeze down. So let me come over here, I'll flip this thing over and get these guys here. Finished. Cool. Okay, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is I need to get this riveted to the vertical in these holes here. But before I do that, being that this is all going to be yellow right here, I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint this yellow first. It's going to do two things for me. I haven't yet sprayed anything with the yellow I got, and I want to make sure that it's the correct yellow. So this will be a chance just to hit it on this piece here, and that'll check to make sure I got the right color of yellow. And secondly, it'll just help having to, spray up. I mean, I'll have the rudder off anyway when I spray this, and I'm going to do this in pieces, but I don't know, to just make sure I get full coverage of yellow all up in the nooks and crannies, so to speak. So that'll be the next order of business there, is get that sprayed. All right, so today we're working on artwork for the tail for the VFA 103 Navy Squadron here. We're doing the skull and crossbones, the fear the bones, and I'll have the AG tail flash, or the squadron code on the rudder there. We're just doing a layout right now, just trying to get the angles just right, get it to closely match the artwork that I did. We're gonna do this side first and get it looking good, and we'll hop over to the other side and get that done. Got her done, and I gotta say, it looks fantastic. It turned out exactly how I thought it would. I mocked all this up in Photoshop, and I drew up all the artwork. I was trying to find it where I could download it online as a vector format. I was never successful, so I just downloaded some highest resolution raster images of this artwork that I could, and I vectorized it. Laid it all out in Photoshop just to get a mock-up that I liked, get the sizes and everything right. Sent over the files to my vinyl guy, and he got it all cut up. Did a matte finish vinyl, so it matches the matte finish of the painted surfaces. So it's matte black up here, we have a matte white, matte yellow, and the sheen of it all just matches so nicely. If we come over here, we've got just basically a mirror finish of it. So really happy with it. It's just nice to have a finished piece. And I didn't need to do this now. This could have been one of the last things I did, but just something about having a completely finished piece on the airplane that is just so blaringly obvious. It just helps motivation. You come out here and you see that and you're like, man, now I can't wait to get the gray on and it's motivation, man. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and get this done and just kind of give me a feel for a finished piece of my plane, and I'm really happy with how that turned out.